So the question is, when you're learning web development, what kind of projects do you build? And another question is, when you're applying for jobs, what kind of projects do you put in your portfolio and your resume? And I would say that those are almost two different things. When you're first learning web development, it's hard enough, right? There's just so much going on and trying to wrap your head around that the less pressure you put yourself under, the better, and the more fun you can have and the freedom you have to play around with things, it can really help you learn. But also, it can be hard to come up with ideas for projects. Project-based learning is so helpful. You learn so much in the process. You get to put all your new knowledge and skills to the test, into practice. Projects are awesome. So if you can find something like, I know the Odin project is one great way to learn that has project suggestions. I followed Free Code Camp, and they have projects at the end of every section, and that helps a lot. But also going beyond that to have your own ideas and come up with your own projects can be very nice. It helps you to stand out as well because there are a lot of people building the same projects who are following the same curriculum, right? So if we look at my projects that I have on my portfolio page, for example, projects, we see there's a lot that did come from Free Code Camp. So, for example, these first three are from Free Code Camp, but then like this one, this random joke app, Pig Latin Translator, bartending game, portfolio page, Hang-em-on, all of those were just my own ideas, and I just did them. I just did them for fun. I had learned something, came up with an idea like, oh, I could use this to make this game, or and I just went and saw if I could do it, and I did it, and I was super proud of it. Now, what I found when I started applying for jobs is that no one was impressed. I mean, they're fun little games, and bartending game, hang-em-on game. Look at the hang-em-on game. It's this fun game where you get a Pokemon and you guess its name. Like that's just a fun little project, right? Those are okay. Those are good for learning the logic of JavaScript, how React components work, and all the basics, right? But when I started applying for jobs, I realized that I had never built something that worked with an API, besides just like the Pokemon API or something, but like a CRUD application, right? Where you can actually write things to the API and change things and delete things, etc. I never worked with an API. I never worked with a user login or sign up with JWTs, JSON Web Tokens. I had never really made a project that had any kind of business value, any kind of value in the business world that could actually make money, basically. Search bars, forms, working with forms and form validations, all that stuff. That's when I decided, it was after I started interviewing that I realized this, unfortunately. And so I decided to actually take a break from applying for jobs and built a project that was much more real. That was this full stack web app here, my school. And if you look at it, you can sign up or log in, and it's a very basic project, but it's closer to what companies are actually looking for. And right now, in the job that I have, my first assignment is to take this WordPress website and make it into a actual React website. So even just finding some website and making an exact replica of it from scratch shows that you've got the skills to make a real life application that businesses can use. How did I get my job? It was from building something exactly like that. So let's go back to my portfolio page and freelance work. This is what basically got me my first job. This is real. This is a real project that someone paid me to make. So I proved that I can make something that people will make money with. And that's what businesses are looking for, money. And let's face it, you're looking for money too. So it's like you got to find a win win situation. They can make money, you can make money. Now, in terms of project ideas, Free Code Camp actually at the very end of the curriculum has this coding interview prep section, and it has take home projects that have lots of different suggestions. So they have games like tic tac toe or Simon game, which you can use a lot of logic and styling for those. We also have a weather app that's pretty basic, a Pinterest clone, there you go, a voting app. Um, but I suggest something that requires forms. Forms are everywhere. Forms with validation, also login with authentication. When you're ready to up your game, you're done learning the basics, and you're ready to up your game to business level, applying for jobs level, build real projects like that. And also collaborating with someone on it is an excellent idea. So I built a full stack application by myself, and I immediately realized I was overwhelmed. I would have loved to just focus on the front end since that's what I was applying for, front end engineering positions. So that's something to consider too, is what specialization, what do you want to focus on to get really good at? Is it the back end or the front end? Find others who want to collaborate with you on the areas that you aren't specializing in. So like that React Native app that I built freelance, I did not do the API for that. Someone else was working on the back end and I was collaborating with him. And that in itself is extremely valuable in the job hunt, is showing that you can collaborate with someone else on a project because that's what you're going to be doing. In summary, start out with simple, fun projects while you're learning. Then start upping your game by building things that maybe they're not as fun, but they are much more business level. When you're ready to build something real, find someone to collaborate with. And I mean, contributing to open source projects is also an option, but collaborating with someone on something that's a project that's a little more real would be a huge thing to put on your portfolio and your resume to show that you can do this.